Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for welcoming your students to this university for us to make music together. That first piece you heard was Into the Sky. And as I think about this theme of music and color, nothing comes to mind more than the color of nature, the color of childhood experiences, and also some extraordinary fireworks, as you'll see later in this program. And so this next piece, I want you to picture with me going to a circus, maybe Six Flags, for those of us that are from Gurnee. And remember that carousel ride. Nice little colorful horses, colorful music that you might hear, and just going around a nice little journey. So go on this journey with us, pick your horse, pick your, I guess frogs is what you might see sometimes, as one of them told me. But find your animal and join us on this carousel. This next piece, I'm excited to have Leanne Kelsel join us. Leanne is our violin and viola faculty member here at UW-Whitewater. And this piece that we have coming up is Beyond the Waterfall. Beyond the Waterfall, I'm thinking Niagara Falls maybe a nice little Wisconsin waterfall if we have one, if anyone's seen it. And waterfalls, have that little mist in the air. There's hints of blue, some greens. Maybe there's a purple whitewater flower somewhere nearby, you know. But these are all different colors about nature, and Miss Kelso has this nice little flowing melodic line that really shapes that waterfall. And the students have this nice misty, cool waterfall atmosphere to add to it. So enjoy. Next up, sticking with the theme of a little bit of a circus here, we have balloons, which is a new piece. I've never heard this one before by any school orchestra. And this is such a cool piece because not only do you hear each of the instruments, but you get to hear a little something extra. There are some foot stomps, there are some random notes, which are, I think, fun to play and hear. And then we get to this second movement called circus, which, as you can imagine, sounds like a circus. We have many percussion instruments. We have a quack, we have a bike horn to resemble a car, and just other random sounds you hear. So think circus, balloons, different colors, and the sounds that have color at the circus that bring you to a certain selective memory.
Thank you very much, everybody. That first tune was Blue Mountain. Going along with our color theme this week at camp, this composer, Alexander Safford, was inspired by the mountains in Appalachia, so kind of an Appalachian folk tune. So when he says Blue Mountain, he's literally thinking of kind of the blue hazy mists over the Appalachian Mountains. This next piece is, at least to me, probably one of the most famous pieces on this program that has to do with color. But it's not about a color specifically. So while the first piece was literally the color blue, this piece is more inspired by the blues. So it's originally a piano concerto for standard orchestra and a concert pianist by George Gershwin, and he's inspired by the blues. What that means is there are some sort of chromatic notes in here that are inspired by what jazz and blues musicians would use in their improvised solos. So this is an arrangement for string orchestra of the piano concerto by Gershwin, Rhapsody in Blue. And I want to check on our technical issue really quickly. So, orchestra, could you guys just play a few notes? And everybody, I will be right back on stage in 1 second.
coming to the 2025 UW-Whitewater String Camp Final Concert. While I'm thanking you, thank you for sharing your sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters, brothers, sisters. We've had a lot of fun working with them all week. Thank you also to teachers. All of you have made it possible for them to get this far, then to spend an intensive week on music that they just got 6 days ago and doing everything that it takes to try to get it to where you're of one interpretation and sounding as professional, as polished as possible. It's an extremely valuable skill to musicians. So I've been doing this camp since 1999, and even before we had a theme each year, it was a lot of fun. But it's, I think, been even more so since actually Leanne Kelso was the one who first suggested that we should have a different theme every year. And I think some of the themes are more immediately come to mind. Music and dance is an obvious pairing. Music and color was a little bit less obvious, I think, at first, a little bit more thought-provoking as to the various connections, but there's lots of them, and so it was an excellent thought exercise. I hope you've enjoyed hearing the many colors that string instruments can make, and I think in some respects, once we learn how many colors and what types and variety we can make on our string instruments, we never go back to just playing it plain anymore, do we? So that's exciting too. All right, so one of the reasons to interrupt a concert like this is to give out a few awards. I think there's definitely an argument to be made. It would be great to be able to give everybody an award, but our tradition at this point is to give 3 awards to outstanding campers, one from each of the 2 orchestras, and then one that the counselors choose based on how they have been kind of outside of the curricular, when they haven't had an instrument in their hands. And so, in addition to hopefully it being something to be proud of and put up on the wall, it also carries with it a 50% discount off of the following year's string camp. So going first here, I'll turn the mic over to our head counselor, Emma Dutcher.
Hello. Oh, thank you. I'm Emma Dutcher, the head counselor. Along with my wonderful team of counselors, we're in charge of your wonderful campers this week. And, Whitcomb said a lot of it already, but I just wanted to reiterate, we had really good kids this year. We had, very limited behavioral problems. It was one of our, I think, best years. You guys have raised some really, really strong... Hey, what's happening back there? Well, but, in terms of, I've been here 3 years now, and I can say, with confidence, this was one of our, best, smoothest years. So thank you, campers. Thank you, parents. So that being said, it was, of course, very difficult to narrow this down to one award. We had so many students to pick from, but there is one student in particular today we decided to give our award to this year. This camper was very dedicated all week, super, practicing every chance this camper got. All the free time options we gave them, he just went right back in the practice room to, prepare for this concert for today. So I'm very excited to announce Caleb Kindred as our star counselor this year. Congratulations, Caleb. And now, Chris.
right, so I have the pleasure of giving an award for Outstanding Camper for the symphonic strings. This person not only has been rocking it in conducting class this semester, but has been helping to hold down the viola section, and this goes to Kai.
For the concertson, this student has been a stellar musician, not just on their instrument, but with other students' instruments, helping out everywhere possible, not just in rehearsal, but outside of rehearsal with chamber and also with evening activities as well. Just overall stellar musician. This is Petronella.
Excellent. And in case, like I'm sure many of us are feeling, if you're wondering if there's any way to shorten the amount of time, the 358 days until next year's summer string camp, the answer is absolutely yes. I hope you'll check out the list of string events going on throughout the year. And that's just the ones we knew of at the time. There invariably will be more, so you need to make sure and follow and like and share and whatnot to stay apprised of what's going on. Also, please check out what's going on in the Young Auditorium season. There's a lot of always wonderful acts that they bring in as well, and thanks to Young Auditorium for this afternoon's event as well. So the last piece of logistics then is that after the final piece, you can meet your camper not in this atrium, but in the atrium to the center of the arts, the one with the little merchild. So, hope you enjoy the final piece, and we hope to see you all next year.
Our final piece this afternoon is from it's a series of works by Kurt Mosier. It's kind of referred to as the Rhythmico series. This first piece that he wrote in that series was entitled Blue Rhythmico, and it was inspired by kind of a blues tune, and then he added what seemed to be improvised passages with a real sort of rhythmic drive to it. He followed that up. There's another piece called Green Rhythmico, and that was the same kind of idea. It's inspired by sort of an Irish folk tuney rhythm, but with sort of a driving, sort of, again, rock band rhythm. This piece is entirely inspired by rock band rhythm and solos. So you're going to hear a few solos from our string players. We've got Evan, Sarah, Samantha, Katie, and Lewis, who will all be featured on solos. And there's even some kind of like lead guitar-inspired riffs and licks throughout the piece. And so because this is a heavy rock tune, this is, of course, Red Rhythmico.